To start everything, I will start by something that we call mega trends. So I will share with you the current mega trends in business foreseen in Europe. We have really, over the last couple of months and years, big change in many things in Europe. And I will share with you how this is also affecting the supply chain. I will show you and I will talk to you about distribution logistics in Europe, what is changing, and we will see it's a lot about regulations, it's a lot about reverse logistics, so how this is becoming important. I will after introduce for sure the supply chain ESG. Concretely, what is it? Why does it matter? Why it will be a future success of your business. I will also share with you the European and the local regulation, which is changing a lot. We have many, let's say, new rules placed by the authorities to speed up the transformation. We will talk a lot about carbon accountability. That's also something quite new, but which will have a huge effect on the business. And we will see also how to set up an ESG supply chain. So what is the strategy? What are the actions? What are the KPIs we should use? We will talk a lot also about circular economy, which is something very important. And we will see the connection between the circular economy and the resilient supply chain. We will talk about circular procurement. And I will also show you how we are coming from a fossil energy risk, means missing gas, missing petrol, to a new risk, which is the raw material shortage risk. We will talk also about sustainable procurement and sustainable supply chain. That's also a lot of to say. We will also for sure talk about technology. What I will also try to show you is that technology is a key driver to support an ESG supply chain, because to be capable to develop this kind of supply chain, we will need a lot of data. We will need, let's say, to collect informations which is not available in our supply chain, which is available outside of our company. And I will show you that technology is key. The technology, software, system, artificial intelligence, and so on is really key to be capable to manage and to set up a proper ESG supply chain, a green supply chain. And last but not least, we will also talk about the performance management and what I call the green KPIs. We will see what kind of KPI can be used to manage if your, let's say, supply chain is corresponding to this ESG criteria. We will see also the challenge of a different KPI. And for sure, I will finish by conclusions, where I will bring back really the key elements we need to discuss. Alors, the mega trends in Europe, let's say we have really 6 new things which are very, very important. 2 are growing, were really growing over the last 2 to 3 years, and 4 were already in, let's say, since I would say 10 years. And this is really changing, I would say, the society and also the way to do the business. I will deep dive a little bit for sure more in detail, but I will first introduce this. One big, and for sure the one which is the more important for the lessons of today, a mega trend which is affecting us, is the environmental damage. People understand that the way we do business, the way we are producing and so on, is really affecting, let's say, the earth, the environmental topic. We see in Europe more and more issue, flooding, let's say, the temperature which is becoming higher and higher. In France, for example, every month is becoming the hottest month of the last 20, 30, 40 years. So we see this, and there is a really a strong focus to find solution regarding decarbonizations, for example, and to bring environmental regulation. So it's really something which was a little bit existing, let's say 10 to 15 years ago, but now it's really in everywhere. If you open, let's say, the news at the television, so they will talk a lot about environmental damage. If you open a newspaper, that will be about this. If you look at the social media, you will heard a lot about environmental damage. So it's a really a mega trend that people are affected and people wants to do something. For sure, a lot of industrial and consumer IoT systems. So everything is connected with intelligence. I mentioned before the AI, robotics, autonomy systems, and for sure, the rising risk of cyber attacks. When everything is over connected, and we will see this is key in supply chain, you have a risk that somebody is entering and try to block your overall system with some randoms and so asking for some money to unlock your system. We will see this later. This is fundamental for supply chain because if somebody wants to block your system and if they are capable to block your supply chain, they will be successful because if your supply chain is blocked, it means you cannot deliver. It means you cannot invoice. It means you will not get money from your customer. So this is a very sensitive topic for supply chain. Some facts and detail. We have more that it was a survey a couple of years ago. 71% of global executive state that the metaverse, virtual world, so augmented reality and so on will have a positive impact on the organization. So we are talking in Europe about Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0, which is how you bring all of this digital equipment and tool directly on the shop floor to improve productivity, to reduce quality. So it's something which is really entering faster in the world of industry. In Europe, average wholesale electricity price was 4 times the average of 2015, 2020. So all of the troubles, COVID, war, and so on, was affecting a lot the price of the energy, leading for sure to inflation, leading to some issue. It's not seen here, but when the start of the war between Russia and Ukraine started, we had a huge increase on the prices of gas, for example. We had in some area a 100, 150% price increase of the gas. And that was affecting directly, for sure, the people in their home, but also affecting a lot, let's say, the some industry which are using a lot of gas. Is working on the workplace, in-office meditation, yoga classes, providing for free, and so on. This is something that more and more companies need to set up if they would like, first of all, to attract, let's say, to attract some people, more especially when you get some shortage. This is essential. This is essential to do this. I just give you a very example. Very close to the factory I'm working, we have an office of Orange. Orange is a French telecom. They have a complete new building, and I had the chance to visit it, and it's really cozy. It's not looking anymore like the normal, let's say, workspace. It's really comfortable, nice lights. You get some area where you can focus. They have for sure a sport place. They have a yoga class. They have also an area where they can play PlayStation. So they can, if they would like to play some sport or some gaming, they have a dedicated room to do this. market change, midterm impact on specific markets industry. So these megatrends here are affecting the way the market is developing and the industry trends. So it means that for the market and the industry, the direct effect is decarbonization and climate protection. So here we are part of this ESG. Here we are about the digitalization of products of service, which can also have an effect on the ESG. This is also changing the customer behavior, for sure. This is changing the work environment. So it means people take care really a lot, and we will see that is also having an effect on the ESG. Volatility in geopolitics also is having a strong effect because, as I just mentioned before, we have these questions of next crisis can affect our procurement. So we have to think about this, and the healthy and conscious society is also having an effect. If people are thinking more and more about green, about decarbonizations, that will also affect the way they are the way they are working. So first of all, what we are facing in Europe is a huge focus on technology. More and more companies, startups are created over the last 5 years. We are really a new landscape with many companies who are focusing about supply chain solutions. So here as you can see here, you have many companies who are working around the carbon and environmental footprint. So being capable to calculate the carbon and environmental footprint of your business. So as you can see, and it's not the exhaustive list of all the companies working on it, but you have a lot working on it. You have also a lot of companies working about the supply chain risk management that I will develop a little bit later, how to anticipate the risk, how to visualize the risk of what will happen. We have also many companies investing solutions and software regarding carbon footprint compensation and offsetting. I'm sure you heard about this. Carbon footprint compensation and offsetting is, for example, you take the plane, your travel by plane will have an effect of, I don't know, 200 kilograms of CO2. And many companies offer you the possibility to offset this CO2 emission by, for example, giving money to a company who will make some trees, for example. That's a way of compensations. The mega trends, for sure, also in the supply chain, more especially the digitalization, it's robotics. And currently, I'm sure you already have seen this robot. It's a famous robot from Amazon, but I'm sure that Alibaba get the same or the same logic. So that was a big innovation, let's say 10, 15 years ago. And now we see a huge increase of this technology more or less everywhere. We see a strong increase of AMR product, autonomous mobile robots, with very often the same technology. You have a small robot with an electric engine, which can move in all directions. And you have also here a mechanic system to kick out the storage place and to move it quite faster. I just show you here an example of Jungenrich, which is a German company making normally forklift and who is now directly engaged in this technology in order to find solutions to bring robotics for many things. So first of all, to fulfill the increase of the e-commerce, because with a strong increase of the e-commerce, more and more people are doing shoppings from their PC for this. And so you need a huge quantity of, let's say, workforce to make the preparation. And as I told you before, we are more and more restriction on this resource because they do not like really this kind of work, which is quite heavy. What they did, we have to invest. And here, perhaps you do not see it quite nice, but it's a French company called Exotech, which is supporting more or less exactly this kind of system. and who is also very, let's say, very famous, let's say in France, who is doing this. In China, you have also a big and very famous producer for this, which is named Geek Plus. If you search on your local website, Geek Plus and BMW, you will see that they are also working since a couple of years with the same technology, with the same practices, with a clear trend to bring robotics in supply chain.
So Brexit, I hope you heard about, let's say, the Brexit topic in China. So UK, England was part of EU, was part of a European community, and in the EU, we have something which is allowing us to easily, let's say, move products and people from one country to another country. I'll just give you an example for the some of you who never went to Europe. If you go to Europe, imagine you land in Paris. So in Paris, you will have, let's say, the customs, because that will be the first, let's say, door to enter in EU. But when you will be in EU in Paris, after leaving the airport, let's say you can do whatever you want. You can go to Spain, you can go to Portugal, you can go to Italy, to Belgium, to Germany, and you will never be stopped and asked to show your paper. It's all the people in EU can move whatever they want. And it was exactly the same case, and it is exactly the same case for, let's say, transportations and the transportation of goods. So today, a truck who is picking material in Paris, for example, he can drive after to Berlin, and he will not have to stop at a custom place waiting that somebody is controlling the paper. He can have some control, but he can easily move. It's really, really easy. But in 2016, UK has decided with a referendum, when they ask individually all the people, they have decided to leave. So you see 51.9% leave and 48.1% wanted to remain. But that was a big thing because it was the first time that one country wanted to exit. And this was a big, let's say, question mark regarding what about transportations? How should EU continue to act with UK? And what will be the consequences regarding distributions? Should we have a customs? Because EU and UK, we still have a huge quantity of economical exchange. Some big companies were producing in UK and delivering everywhere in EU. We were for sure producing a lot of things in France and Germany, delivering to EU. This was really a huge effect. Also see as a, let's say, technology, because I'm sorry to always use the word technology, but it's a fact that we have more and more technology, let's say a change of technology. And what we see more and more is the hydrogen foreseen as a solutions to limit the CO2 emissions. Alors, depending on how the hydrogen is produced, is it a green hydrogen? Means is the electricity used for making the hydrogen is green, so coming from the wind, coming from the sun, or coming from the coal, which is not really green. But there is a lot of investigation from trucks company to invest into an hydrogen solutions, so fuel cell electrical vehicles. And all of the producers, they are working on this environment to test and to, for sure, limit, let's say, the effect of the environment. So it's really an area where they are investing a lot of money. And last but not least, we have also a lot of things regarding electrical trucks. To mention in the distribution logistics, so you know that in general, for example, everything which is coming from Asia, for China, normally is landing here in this area of Netherlands or Belgium, so really north of Paris. But we have a very great place which is in Germany called Hamburg. I do not know if you know, but which is very interesting, mainly due to the rail freight. Everything which is coming from Asia, so imagine China is here, it's make troubles, it's going here. And if you would like to tackle, let's say, east of Europe, it's making more sense that the boat is, going here in Hamburg, and in Hamburg after you have a huge and advanced rail freight, which will allow you to dispatch more or less everywhere with a proper way.
So why supply chain and ESG? Why it is, let's say, fundamental? Both are connected. Let's say both are connected because a company cannot fully understand their own ESG positions without including the impact of their suppliers. You cannot have a very nice factory where everybody is happy, where the consumptions of energy is minimized with a nice forest around you, if at the same time the material which is entering in your factory is made in horrible conditions with children. That is not fitting for the overall story. So for sure, you have to consider your suppliers. And keep in mind, in supply chain, there is chain. And chain means it's all the connections from the extractions of a material from the ground till the delivery of a physical system which is entering in your company. So it's mandatory. You are obliged to look at this because due to this supply chains. Just to get you this, the target is to get 50,000 companies in Europe, which will report, as well 10,000 non-EU companies and their European subsidiaries, which means that these companies with this, let's say, as you can see, conditions here in 24, that will be all the EU companies above 500 employees, which are listed on the stock exchange, bank in Syria. And in 2024, that will be all the large EU-based companies that meet 2 out of 3 criteria: 40 billion net turnover, 20 million balance sheet total, and 250 employees. So you need to take 1 or 2. But these companies, they will have to follow the corporate sustainability reporting directive. So it means they will have to take care that they had a clear, let's say, carbon footprint, that they did it. And they will also have to take care to make a very constructive report regarding their emission data at a consolidated group level. So it was what I was telling you before. The government, the authorities are telling to the companies now, at least you have to make your emission data.